What's happening, B's and G's, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the pets that have been suggested recently on the 2007scape Reddit. Recently there has been a flood of pets suggested over on the forums, and I thought, you know what, let's bring some light to these pets, see if you guys would want any of these pets to start with, and if you do, which ones would you want? Also, if you've got any cool pet suggestions, do put them in the comments. I'd love to hear them, and maybe we could get a petition going to get one of these pets in the game if one of them is really popular. Also, if you haven't checked the Reddit out, guys, the 2007scape Reddit is hilarious and really interesting if you're a big Runescape fan. I don't own it or anything, but it's just a good place to go and chill and talk with other people about Runescape and see like memes and stuff. So if you haven't checked it out, I'll leave the link in the description. All of this comes from there. This suggestion from Just Call Me Chad is a really cool concept where Revenants would drop us certain items. You'd need 2 items to combine them together to reanimate a Revenant pet, for example. It's really cool, and how it would work is you'd have to get 1 drop to start with, which would be called, for example, Ethereal Remains, and they're a 1 in 3,000, 1 in 5,000, whatever Jagex would want to make it. Then after you've received that drop, you can then go ahead and kill whichever Revenant pet you want. So if you want an imp, if you want the Revenant imp, for example, you would kill imps until it dropped a ghostly bead, for example. Or if you wanted the Revenant dragon pet, you would go and kill the dragon until it dropped ghostly claws. Now that you have these 2 items, you can fuse them together to make your very own personalized Revenant pet. Now imagine somebody got the first or second part of the pet fuse and it came up in the chat. Everybody would go and kill them. I'm not saying it'd be tradable, but you just know that those PKs would just want to get you so you didn't get your pet. Imagine the chaos when somebody got a pet. Imagine you got the pet drop and then you were TV'd or something and you'd have to run for your life so you could get yourself a pet. It would be an awesome thing to watch, it really would, and it would be devastating if it was you. Now the next idea is something that's already implemented in RuneScape through the rune crafting pet and the mining pet. Depending on what you were doing at the time of getting those pets, you will get a certain variant of that pet. And that hasn't happened with Tangleroot or the Giant Squirrel. The Giant Squirrel just seems like a massively obvious one for me. Depending on what course you are, it should be a different colour squirrel. It just makes so much sense and it works so well. They look beautiful as well. I'm a big old fan of the art that's been done to those. And then we have the Tangleroot, which would be a little bit more complex, but we could probably do it as they're showing here with like the last type of tree you checked, and then you'd get that type of Tangleroot. I think it's a really cool concept, and I'd love to see these 2 implemented into the game. Is there any other pets you could do it with, guys? Chuck that in the comments below. Just off the top of my head, I can't think of any others. Now this idea from Tardy Soap I'm a big fan of, and it brings a bit of life back into the random events. He's drawn up several different random events that could give you a pet, a very, very small chance of giving you a pet every time you actually do them. Now, we all skip random events, they're just an annoying part of playing RuneScape. If you're on an Iron Man, they can sometimes be useful, but other than that, people collect frog tokens just for fun. There is literally no reason to the random events anymore, and they used to be such a fun thing. I remember being very young and loving a random event and going and doing whatever activity it made you do, but over time that has worn off and people just hate them now. It would be really cool to give everybody a very, very small chance of receiving a pet from doing these random events. The random events he's drawn up are these: the Kiss the Frog random event, or he's saying you could trade in a large sum of tokens for a pet, which is a good idea because I know a lot of people have several hundred in their bank over the years. The Freaky Forester pet, and a really cool idea would be the last pheasant that you killed, how many tails it had, you would receive a pet that had that many tails as well. I like that one a lot, it's a really cool concept. You could snag yourself a good Bob if you did the Evil Bob random event, or you could get yourself the famed balloon animals from Prison Pete, and the last one you killed would be the pet that you received. And then to round this all up, we have the pet cape, the trimmed and untrimmed versions here. This would show everybody that you had collected every single pet in the game, which would be an incredible feat, and I know only a few people have done that. I actually love the look of it as well. I know the neon is a slightly controversial colour. Let me know what you think, guys. Would you like to see this cape in the game? I don't see why it shouldn't be in there. You'd only see a few of them. It's an incredibly rare achievement to get, so I think a pet cape would be really, really cool. But guys, that's going to be all from me today. Don't forget I am live on Twitch right now, so if you're watching this video as I've released it, then I'm going to be on Twitch for the next few hours. Come along, Twitch link is in the description and on screen now, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day as always.